Greetings guys, and welcome back once again. Hope you guys are doing well. Today's video is just going to be on the equipment. So if you're having problems clearing out certain areas of the game, you know, either story wise, for dailies, for the raids, whatever, hopefully this helps you. We're just going to take a little bit more insight into the equipment of this game, which is very, very important. I don't know why I went to bag, but oof. So okay, so say for instance you have a 6-star Dean. He's level 50, but his combat power is only 25k. You should probably take a look at your equipment because he's probably on like maybe tier 2 or tier 3 gear, I would imagine, not counting his exclusive weapon that they gave you through the story. This by no means is optimal at all. His set is actually kind of bad with that destructive monarch, because that's for, I mean, it does raise his defense up, enemy damage, but in all defense up, but not the best set for him. If you guys have any questions about what kind of sets your characters should have, feel free to click on the character and then equip suggestions, and the game will actually tell you, hey man, this is the kind of gear that your characters should have. My Dean doesn't have this at the moment because I gave it to Richard, but I'll switch to that after the video. But yeah, and you can just go through and it'll just tell you what they feel is optimal for Dean, and it's fairly accurate. I mean, you can't really go wrong here. But as I was saying before, when you're trying to get your combat power up, the best way to get it up after you've upgraded your character and you've done the skills, traits do help as well, and hopefully you will awaken whoever you're playing with, is of course equipment. Now T4 gear you can obtain from not only doing raids, but you can also craft it, which I do recommend, and you can also buy it, I believe, with crystals from the wandering shop. We'll take a look at that in a second, but you should definitely aim for T4 gear as soon as you start the game, because it's going to probably be the gear that you're going to be locked into for quite a while. And eventually, as you max it out, you will have the ability to tier it up, which leads into the tier 5 gear. Now, if you guys have seen my cooking and alchemy guide, like quick guide revisit, you see that I mentioned things about essence. Like, always have essence being crafted, and always focus on getting those essence every 2 days that it takes to get them, because eventually you're going to come to the point where your whole squad of 5 people is going to need all kinds of essence to get to tier 5, and that's the only way for you to upgrade your combat power after a certain point. So make sure you're making essence every single day from the alchemy waifu, or you're just going to be missing out. You're going to be bottlenecking yourself. So once you get to this point, you'll have at least the essence, maybe not the money all the time, but you'll have the essence for most of the time. The other ones you can attain from the world boss, which is pretty much it. Looks like honor shop as well. Yep, and we can get that from honor shop as well, but this is only for low protection, which this is only for tier 5. So if you're doing your dailies, and as your team grows, you'll get more and more medals from the honor shop, which is phenomenal, and then you'll get it from the world boss as well. So make sure you're doing alchemy every day for all the essence. Whatever you need, whoever you need, make sure you're making essences. Make sure you're doing world boss. I mean, that right there is a given. But that's the easiest way to increase your CP after you've upgraded your characters and evolved them. And I said before, I'm beating a dead horse. And oh yeah, let me show you guys this real quick. When you go to upgrade your gear, you guys may notice, okay, I'm trying to upgrade my gear, but look, I'm all out of equipment to use. Make sure you hit this tab over here, which is upgrade stones. Upgrade stones, as you guys can see, there's plenty of ways to get this. You can make it at the end through alchemy. You can also get it from Blitz. Blitz is quite a reliable way to get it, and once you get to the point where you're doing Blitz, you should have no problems getting it. So from alchemy and doing Blitz alone, you should get a fair amount, maybe not the best amount of upgrade stones, unfortunately, but it does provide something else along with the equipment that you can get from doing raids, which is phenomenal. It does take a little bit to get these pieces of gear maxed out, unfortunately, but as long as you're doing your dailies, then eventually you will have enough upgrade stones to get it to the max. And again, you can feel free to use equipment if you have spare equipment. I try to take tier 4 gear really. If I'm not going to use it, I try to break it down just to get more essence. Tier 3 and below, I'll pretty much just feed them to whatever, because Tier 3 isn't too hard to obtain. Tier 4 is a little bit kind of rare from the from raiding, but it's not impossible to get either. And also one more thing, make sure you guys are checking out the equipment effects. Obviously this one's for Julia, but I'm not using Julia right now, so there's no point of her having it. And this over here is just the grade of the weapon. And again, make sure you're checking out this, because the added effects can actually help you quite a bit. So try to get a weapon that is built for that character, like my Jago over here. Like that adds an extra 7% attack speed and extra 6% skill damage. Not the biggest thing in the world, but it does add up over time, especially with a long battle. I had mentioned before I went back down there, but this is just like the grade for the piece of equipment. The higher the grade, obviously the higher potency, the better overall combat power that the weapon is going to be. We can change the potential of it. I mean, it does cost... What is this? Yep, there's a lovely tutorial about this. Didn't even know. But yeah, we can come here and you can actually mod the potential. So if you have something that's slightly weaker than how you want it to be, then you can feel free to modify it and pray to RNGesus that it'll raise itself up. Sometimes it doesn't raise itself up, and sometimes it does. But that's the way you can slightly augment the potential of whatever item that you're using a little bit more. Those are more kind of tweaks. So if you have this stuff, feel free to do it. But if you don't be too biggy about it. I mean, obviously we want to aim for A, S rank, and double S rank if possible. But make sure you're checking out the equipment, because you're gonna miss out on. Look at this. You're gonna miss out on extra effects for that character, and 11% is a pretty good amount, and that one's almost 9% too. So it does add up, especially as your character continues to attack over a long period of time. And there is one more thing I wanted to show you guys. Where is it? We'll go over here to workshop. We'll go over here to craft. Now, if you guys have been doing your rage, which you should be doing, and of course you have the essence from the alchemy and doing world boss and blitz like that, eventually you'll come to the point where you can actually make some gear. Yes, it costs 600k, but you can pick what kind of stats that you want on the gear for whatever hero that you want. This doesn't work for all of the gear. Like the accessory requires a cube, which I believe they want you to pay for with real life money, which is a little bit crazy. But here we can select what we want as a substat for the piece of equipment that we want. And I can go over here and say, hey, I want my Jade with more physical attack. These are obviously levels, or just a range of what I can get potentially, and I can make that so that the added effect is purely for Jade. So if you're lacking T4 equipment that are that's like the sub weapon, kind of like my Dean was, if you're lacking in that department and you want your characters to have the effects on them as well as the main stat from that sub weapon, then definitely come over here and craft it. You only need to do maybe 4 or 5 if you just had bad RNG, but you shouldn't have to do too much with this. And of course you can customize how you want it built and how you want it done, so that can really help kind of give you guys the edge in battle. And especially it gives you hopefully more reliable damage. It makes your tank a little bit more tankier, makes your DPS a little bit more damage based and stuff like that. But that's pretty much the end of this video, you guys. If you have any more questions about equipment, then feel free to let me know. Definitely visit the Discord, definitely visit the subreddit. Those guys will get back to you if I can't, because sometimes I'm just busy. But this is the easiest way for you to upgrade your character's combat power after you have finished upgrading them and getting their skills, which is important but not very important once you get later on, and with the awakenings and the traits as well. And again, you can farm out, I think, tier 2 gear at one of the stages. But I would just recommend upgrade stones. Like, just do your dailies, work on getting tokens, work on getting crests, and maybe character fragments, and just, you know, as long as you keep playing and keep doing raid, eventually your gear will get maxed out, and then you can move on to the lovely tier 5. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, again, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.